Your personality equals your personal reality. Let's talk about how to change your life very, very quickly. Now, if you're not already subscribed, just did a video on how small funds like micro funds, solo funds are doing up against the larger funds right now and how AI is impacting that. So we'll start to do the fund info over there. Be sure to subscribe to the Solo Fund channel. And if you're somebody who's doing a fund, be sure to put any questions you have and we'll do future videos on that. For now, I want to talk about this concept of your personality equaling your personal reality. I've talked a little bit before just about the impact of the subconscious on whether you get wealthy or not. Like a big part of wealth is how you think and what you think, because whatever you think and how you think is how you see the world. How you see the world is going to determine how you interact with the world. And so that means like how you interact with other people, what decisions you make, all of those things. And then how you interact in the world is basically your personality. And so it all starts with the knowledge that's in your head. So I want to start there because I think people really take for granted that they don't have the knowledge they need. The places that we're getting knowledge from aren't the places, especially if your goal is or one of your goals, it shouldn't be your only goal, but one of your goals should be financial dependence, financial freedom. And so if you're someone who is seeking that, and then all of the knowledge that you've ever gained in your life came from poor people, which that's the case for most of us because most people are poor. And so, if your parents were poor and you got a little bit of information from them, your grandparents, your cousins and uncles, all of them, none of them were where you want to be. You got a little bit of knowledge from them. And you went to school and you learned from poor teachers. And so all of the knowledge and the way that you see the world, even if you want to be wealthy, and this is a really important thing, it's not about what you really consciously think, it's everything that's in your subconscious came from all of these poor people and just, society and all of that. And it's real work. And this is what I want to encourage. This is a short video because I just want to encourage folks that it's tough. It's actually like real work to go out, find the knowledge to put into your head. And that is the most important thing. Like, I was talking to one of my mentors Friday. And, just really grateful for him and some specific things that I was trying to work through on a couple of businesses. And one of the things that it brought to mind is just like, man, like everything is knowledge. I think, when you're trying to decide, okay, do I want to read this book? Do I want to join this course? Do I want to, subscribe to this newsletter? Like, the knowledge that's in your head is literally the most important thing ever. It's everything. Because again, like that knowledge is going to determine how you see the world. It's going to determine how you interact with the world. It's going to determine your personality. And then it just is literally going to determine if you're wealthy or not. And I think people aren't investing or taking that as seriously as it is, of just really like, you've got to, if you think of, like for me, 40 years of, all of this other stuff kind of going ahead. And years ago in psychology, they said, hey, however you think at 35, that's how you're going to think. And it really was the case. And a little bit of the reason for the case was that there was so little accessibility for knowledge that was outside of their network of people. So even you went to the library, knowing which book to read about wealth was just like so much more difficult back then than today. And I think now we do have that opportunity to change into a whole different person. And that's really what the goal should be. Like, if you're poor right now, you are the type of person that's poor. Like, that's what type of person that you are. If you're the type of person right now that can't figure out how to do deals, you find it really difficult to source deals, to do due diligence, to do all those things, like, that's what type of person you are, because there are other people, myself included, that part is easy. So now I'm, building funds and doing all these other things, have brokerages, all these other things, because doing the deal part is very easy. So you have to become, now, before I was the type of person that wasn't as good at that and didn't have any idea. And I was going to a mentor back then in my 20s that, changed and kind of, exploded my brain to see things in a whole different way. But even that person at 25 is like, okay, like, I was still just had no idea. And so I've become a totally different person. And one of the goals should be, like, if you're really growing, one of the greatest goals is that, like, every 6 months, your friends have to get to know you all over again, because you've grown into this whole new person. And so it's a concerted effort. It's very difficult. And I think you have to almost call into question, if you're broke right now, or you're not even broke, if you're not where you want to be, you should be calling into question every decision that you think is the right decision, because that decision is coming from the person that got you to where you are right now, which isn't where you want to be. So almost, if you're saying, oh, well, no, I shouldn't read this, or I shouldn't learn this thing, or I shouldn't go down this path, it might be that, hey, that's not even wrong thinking, but you're going to be able to come up with reasons as to why you did that. Now, this is a very interesting thing. So this is real quick. So there was a neurosurgeon that basically did a test on some people where they had some electrical tongues, essentially, that connected to nerves in the brain, and they kind of control what a person picked. So, they could say red or yellow. And the person's like, hey, which one of these colors do you pick? And they say red. And they say, why did you pick that? And they'd say, well, it's because, when I was in high school, our color was red, and so I loved it. And then, they go through some other questions, and they would change. It's like, hey, show the picture again. It's like, actually, take a look at this. Like, do you think you want to stay with red as your favorite between these two? It's like, no, actually, yellow. And they would ask why, and the person would come up with a reason. Well, really, what they controlled, because with that simple choice, they could literally just make the person decide what they wanted to decide. And what they realized is, like, a human will, no matter what the decision is, we're going to come up with a reason as to why we made that decision. So when you're making decisions, it's not that you can't come up with a reason why, it's that it's coming, all of those reasons, everything is coming from the wrong path, from the wrong place. So this is really just an encouragement to whatever the path you're trying to go down, just inundate yourself with the knowledge that's going to get you there. Thank y'all for popping in on a Sunday. If you haven't checked out Solo Fund channel on YouTube, be sure to check that out, and be sure to subscribe. Hit me with any comments. Give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on this, and on this concept that, the way that you're presenting yourself to the world, that's going to be your reality. And until you change that, which requires basically constantly introducing your brain to a whole nother set of ideas and concepts and knowledge, and until you do that, you're going to get the same result that you've always gotten. Hope y'all have a rest of your Sunday that's amazing, and I'll be back soon.